The Means Committee will now come to order. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Ms. Andrews, Mr. Antelli, Mr. Baroth, Mr. Daniele is excused, Mr. Haney, Mr. Hanna, Mr. Howland, Ms. Kaylee, Mr. McCann, Mr. Tucciarello, Chairman Yolovich.
Here. Are there any speakers signed up for the public forum?
There is not.
Is there anyone here who would like to address the committee at this time? Seeing none, the next item on the agenda is the approval of minutes. You have the minutes from the January 20th, 2013, January 30th, 2013 meeting in your folder. They will stand approved unless the clerk is notified of any changes by the end of the day. Next item is new business. Madam Clerk.
Referral 13-50.
Moved by Legislator Howland, seconded by Legislator McCann. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. You got to be quicker than that, Paul. All right. I'll retract.
All right. No vote yet.
No vote yet.
Through the chair, both this and the next item, are these the same amounts as last year?
Through the chair, yes, they are.
I ask this through the chair. I ask this question every year, and I just don't understand why we don't do it. The county budget indicates $75,000 of net county support for the economic development, county's economic development operation. Why don't, Comida and the next item, the Industrial Development Corporation, each have several $1 million. Why isn't the contribution from them sufficient so that the county doesn't have to put $75,000 into the economic development operation?
Through the chair, the monies from both the IDA and MCIDC are used to support businesses in the community, and it's felt that the money is better spent to assist in giving interest subsidies and rebates to companies that are investing in equipment and creating jobs.
But through the chair, for the people that do the bond issues, et cetera, why would they care if the 265 was increased by $50,000? What they pay is set by a formula. It's not going to increase what they pay.
Through the chair, I'm sorry, I don't understand that question, but the 265 more than covers the cost of the IDA to be in the offices of the county and the staff support.
Well, through the chair, the county budget shows an unfunded cost of $75,096 for the economic development operation. That's the net county share. That's after the IDA contribution, the MCIDC contribution, some, I think there's some federal grant money in there. These two entities have accumulated millions of dollars. In lots of counties, as you well know through the chair, the county economic development operations are operated by their IDA, and the whole budget is assumed by IDA, and the employees are on the IDA payroll. I don't advocate that. I think our model is a better model. But the concept of having the IDA pay the full cost of the county's economic development operation is well established in counties across the state. Why can't we do it?
Through the chair, we also have the Entrepreneurs Network. We have PTAC, we run the Foreign Trade Zone that are outside of MCIDC and Comida.
Well, given the state of the county budget and how tough it is to balance that budget, I just think it's absolutely crazy that the county puts $75,000 of taxpayer money into the economic development operation when it could be fully funded by contributions from these two entities. I'm powerless to change that, obviously, but I think it's crazy that the county doesn't recover the whole cost of its economic development operation from these contributions.
Any further discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Opposed, motion carries. Next item, please.
Referral 13-51.
Moved by Legislator McCann, seconded by Legislator Tucciarello. Any discussion? Legislator Baroff.
Thank you. Sorry. Through the chair to the administration, who is the business outreach program targeted to?
The business outreach?
Yes.
Through the chair, it's to the business community as well as service providers such as accountants and attorneys.
Thank you. Through the chair to the administration, when you say the business community, I assume you mean the local business community?
Through the chair, that is correct.
Thank you. The referral also states through the chair, in the second paragraph listing what it does, it states, quote, in marketing and data to the public. And my question is, what does this mean precisely? What data do we give to the public?
Through the chair, we work very closely with the next referral with the Greater Rochester Enterprise when companies are coming in and looking for information, whether they want to expand or grow in the community.
Thank you. And through the chair, then I'm to understand it's essentially providing data upon request?
Through the chair, that could be anything from our business programs, programs that are available for financing. It could be site selection. And that's where we work very closely with the Greater Rochester Enterprise. It could be service providers that they could be looking for expansion.
Thank you. And through the chair, just so I'm clear, but this is information that's provided when a specific individual or business requests it.
Through the chair, correct.
Thank you.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Opposed, motion carries. Next item, please.
Referral 13-52.
Moved by Legislator Tucciarello, seconded by Legislator Antelli. Legislator Haney.
Through the chair, the contribution to GRE used to be a bigger amount, did it not?
Through the chair, no, it has been $50,000.
Oh, I thought back through the chair, I thought back a few years ago it was 100,000.
Through the chair, the comita gives also money to GRE, $100,000.
Oh, so the county's contribution has always been 50,000?
Through the chair, that is correct.
Thank you.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Opposed, motion carries. Next item, please.
Referral 13-53.
Moved by Legislator Antelli, seconded by Legislator Hanna. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Opposed, motion carries. Next item, please.
Referral 13-54.
Moved by Legislator Hanna, seconded by Legislator Howland. Is there any discussion? Legislator Haney.
Through the chair, what does the Regional Planning Council, what benefit does the county derive from membership in the Regional Planning Council?
Through the chair, Tom Goodwin from Planning and Development. The Regional Planning Council provides a number of services, not only to Monroe County, but to other counties in the region. Just to list a few of those, they are the the Federal Economic Development District, which means they're responsible for preparing the Comprehensive Economic Development Strategy. We work closely with them on that, and county projects that are within that strategy become eligible for federal economic development funds. They also provide some of the census information. They're the clearinghouse, the regional clearinghouse for census information. They work closely with us in preparing that census data and distributing it to the public. They also work on a number of specific planning projects, including some of the guidebooks for municipalities to use. They've done demographic studies. They've done water quality studies, things like that.
Okay, thank you.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Opposed, motion carries. Next item, please.
Referral 13-55.
Moved by legislator Howland, seconded by legislator McCann. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Opposed, motion carries. Next item, please.
Referral 13-56.
Moved by legislator McCann, seconded by legislator Tucciarello. Is there any discussion? Legislator Kaley.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Has the amount been the same for I'd say the last 2 years, or has this fluctuated going up or down?
Through the chair, it's been $35,000 for the last few years.
Thank you.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Opposed, motion carries. Next item, please.
Referral 13-57.
Moved by legislator Tucciarello, seconded by legislator Antelli. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Opposed, motion carries. Next item, please.
Referral 13-58.
Moved by legislator Antelli, seconded by legislator Hanna. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Opposed, motion carries. Next item, please.
Referral 13-59.
Moved by legislator Hanna, seconded by legislator Howland. Legislator Haney.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Some of these prices, if you divide the price by the number of square feet, would appear to be relatively high. Why are like the very first one for 1,100 square feet, we're paying $7,500?
Through the chair, it's Art English, the county surveyor. The price is broken down based upon the value of the easement itself, which in this case is $7,000, and for Sherwin-Williams property, it's commercial property. And there's also some bushes and trees that add contribution to that value to make it $7,500.
But through the chair, why are these, I mean, there's several resolutions on the agenda tonight for these kind of things, and the square footage prices that we're paying on this project are much, much higher than on the other projects. Why?
Through the chair, for the Sherwin-Williams piece, that's a commercial property. It's valued at $6.50 a square foot. For the residential property, for the next property on the Gentons, that value is $1.65 a square foot. When we get down to Dr. Nanavati's property, that's $1.50 a square foot, but there's trees, 4 maple trees, a cherry tree, a hedge, a mature hedge, and other things that are coming out as a result of this project. And so,
Through the chair, will we be cutting those trees down? And
through the chair, yes, some of these trees need to go.
through the chair, are we taking title to the property or just getting easements?
Through the chair, we're getting permanent easements for highway purposes.
So we're just getting an easement, we're not taking title?
Through the chair, we're getting title through an easement. Through the chair, that gives us a permanent right to maintain the highway right-of-way. Most of the highway rights-of-way in the county are nothing more than an easement.
Thank you.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Opposed, motion carries. Next item, please.
Referral 13-60.
Moved by legislator Howland, second by legislator McCann. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Opposed, motion carries. Next item, please.
Referral 13-61.
Moved by legislator McCann, seconded by legislator Tucciarello. Legislator Barov.
Thank you. Through the chair to the administration, I just have a clarification question. Am I correct to assume that Mark D. and Karen M. Garvey jointly own both parcels of land listed here?
Through the chair, yes.
Thank you.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Opposed, motion carries. Next item, please.
Referral 13-62.
Moved by legislator Tucciarello, seconded by legislator Antelli. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Opposed, motion carries. Next item, please.
Referral 13-63.
Moved by legislator Antelli, seconded by legislator Hannah. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Opposed, motion carries. Next item, please.
Referral 13-64.
Moved by legislator Hannah, seconded by legislator Howland. Is there any discussion? Legislator Haney.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Through the chair, what was the engineering estimate for the project?
Through the chair, the engineer's estimate was just about $4.2 million, about 7.5% above the low bidder.
Okay. Second question through the chair. There's no contribution listed as being made by the town of Arundequoit. When we do a county highway and construct sidewalks, don't the local towns pay for the sidewalks?
Through the chair, when we use 100% county dollars and construct new sidewalk, that is correct. We usually do a betterment. In this case, the sidewalk is actually, what sidewalk we're doing is not new. It's just because of grades when we put in different curb or whatever, or replacing the existing sidewalk in place. It's not new sidewalk.
So when new sidewalk is put in, the towns pay, but when sidewalk is being replaced as a project, the county pays? Well,
And through the chair, when we have federal dollars, of which, as you see, 53% of this is paid for by federal dollars, normally we pick up the town's share of sidewalk cost, if there is any.
But I take it that 40-some% is county dollars in this project, right?
Through the chair, 40-something% is, 43% is county dollars, most of it not on the sidewalk. It's the road work.
Obviously. It just sounds to me like we don't have a consistent policy as to when we're paying for sidewalks.
Legislator Baroth, did you have a question? All set? Okay, any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Opposed, motion carries. Next item, please.
Referral 13-65.
Moved by legislator Howland, seconded by legislator McCann. Is there any discussion? Legislator Baroth.
Thank you. Through the chair to the administration, why is there such a large difference in the amount of the bids?
Through the chair, I'm not the one bidding it, so I don't know. Sometimes a contractor might throw a number in, just, hey, if we get it, great, and we can make some money on it. Other times, they are very close, and you got a couple bids that are, very, very close, and ones that's way off. A couple of them are way off.
Thank you. Through the chair of the administration, I asked simply because I know that Villager Construction has done work with us before, and they've won bids before, but this one seemed dramatically out of line, hence my question. I had an additional question through the chair of the administration. Am I correct to believe that 5% of this is going to be paid for by the Monroe County?
Through the chair, that's correct.
That's correct. And finally, a technical question. Am I correct to assume that shotcrete has a similar longevity as concrete?
Through the chair, that's correct. It's just sprayed on concrete.
Okay, thank you.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Opposed, motion carries. Next item, please.
Referral 13-66.
Moved by legislator McCann, seconded by legislator Tucciarello. Is there any discussion? Legislator Haney.
Through the chair, is Jetview Drive a county highway?
Through the chair, no, it is not.
Then why is county money being used for the construction of the extension of Jetview Drive, et cetera?
Through the chair, there's no county money being used on Jetview Drive. The town or the developer or federal state are paying for all the work on Jetview Drive.
So less than 10% of the cost is attributable to Jetview Drive?
No, through the chair, how'd you get that 10%? First, I better understand where you got that.
Oh, I see. There's only like 3 or 4% of the total project that's county money. Is that the way I?
Through the chair, yes, you are correct now with that
Okay.
statement.
So when we get federal or state highway money through the chair, we will sometimes spend federal and state highway money that the county receives for the betterment of non-county highways?
Through the chair, that's possible, but there are county highways involved here, and it's kind of a little bit different type of project, but there's various components to it. One part has already been done, some resurfacing of Paul Road last year to the west of Union Street. And then this project will be, the county will be paying for the work on, a portion of the work on the Paul Road between Chihuahua and Bean, and then the work on Jetview itself. The existing Jetview is paid for by the town, their share, that's not federal or state, and then the new extension is paid for, that's not paid for by the federal or state government, is going to be paid for by the developer. So we became the lead because a municipality has to be the lead on getting federal money.
Approximately how much of the cost of this project is related to Jetview Drive?
Through the chair, I don't have the actual share of that with me. I thought I did. I'll have to get you that information. As I said, there's two things on Jetview. One is the new part of Jetview, and one is the rehabilitation of the existing.
Right.
Combining the two of them, it's as well as then there's a new signal going in at Jetview and Paul Road, and that's being paid for. Any of the local shares being paid for by the developer. But how much of $3 million for the construction is on Jetview, or I just don't have that right now. I do have it, but I don't have it with me.
But at any rate, part of the federal and state aid is being used on Jetview.
Through the chair, that's correct. We got through the Safety Lou legislation back in 2005, Congressman Kuhl got $5 million that ended up becoming $4.5 million because of rescission, and they got towards the project and towards the design and the construction. So they're very little county money.
Yep.
And we're going to get Paul Road resurfaced.
Legislator Cayley, did you have a question?
I did, is Mr. Haney done?
I think so.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Through you to the administration, when is this is executed, when is the work scheduled to begin?
Through the chair, the work will begin this spring when weather permitting, sometime April, I'd say.
Okay, and thank you, through the chair. How long do you, under good circumstances, how long would you expect this to take?
Through the chair, I anticipate this project will be complete this season.
Thank you.
Legislator Baroth.
Thank you. Through the chair of the administration, in the last paragraph refers to 8.1% of the project cost will be borne by town of Charley / developer. Am I correct to assume that those are two entities? They're a separate developer?
Through the chair, that's correct. The town of Chilai is one and the developer is another, but our agreement is with the town of Chilai. They're going to pay us back for both costs, and then they'll get some of their money from the developer.
Okay, thank you. Am I correct to assume through the chair that the county will pay for about 2.8% of this project?
To the chair, that's correct.
Thank you. It's kind of an odd number to me. Am I correct to assume also, through the chair, that the Chilai developer are covering the entire increase of $100,000? That amount's coming from them?
Through the chair, no.
No.
No, we've calculated what the percentages are, and I don't have them with me, but we're short overall funding for design, inspection, and construction by the $100,000. And based on what the construction cost is for the county's portion, the town's portion, and the developer's portion, we're going to distribute that $100,000 accordingly.
Thank you. And through the chair of the administration, how was it determined that the town of Chilai developer would pay for 8.17%? I had assumed that odd number was an adjustment from a prior agreement, but that is not the case. It's always been 8.17%?
Through the chair, it wasn't any certain percentage. It was just they have to pay the local share of any work on that is off of the county road. The developer or the town are going to pay for it, not the county. And we also need, because we're short by $100,000 overall, so that's why they're paying more than, their percentages came out more than a typical 5%.
Okay. Thank you.
Legislator Haney.
Through you, Mr. Chairman, who is the developer?
Through the chair, Developers Cornerstone Group.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Opposed, motion carries. Next item, please.
Referral 13-67.
Moved by Legislator Tucciarello, seconded by Legislator Antelli. Is there any discussion? Legislator Baroth.
The chair of the administration, just a quick question. Am I correct to assume that the county is paying for 5% of this project?
Through the chair, that's correct.
Thank you.
Legislator Kaley.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Through you to the administration. I just want to understand, additional funds are required due to increasing costs, and the project required additional field testing and so on and so forth to avoid limitation signage. Signage for weight restrictions. Wouldn't that have happened prior to this point when it was being put into the capital improvement program? I just find that is something big that was missed.
Through the chair, what part missed?
The part about the additional field testing, using a fiber reinforced polymer wrapping of the beams to avoid having a post-load restriction on the bridge. I guess I would have expected that to be happening up front versus after the fact when you're going out for contract.
Well, through the chair, that was done during design. So some of these are costs that had been spent during design for that additional field work and deciding on doing the fiber wrapping so that therefore we will not have to, once the job is done, to post the bridge. At one time, this was going to be a replacement. Mm-hmm. And then it changed that we decided we could get by with rehabilitating the two bridges rather than just replacing one. So when you did that, there was additional, rather than just replacing the bridge and taking it down, you have to look at a little bit more closely of what features are there and what needs to be done and what is the limits of the, or what's the limits of the substructure that's there of the bridge, that how much load can it handle. And we found out doing the load testing that you don't routinely do, but that if it stays as it is, it would have to be, we would have to put some kind of weight limit on that. And we wanted to avoid having to put a weight limit on it, so therefore we had to do other testing to determine that, number one, and then additional construction techniques had to be added to, so that we will not have a weight limit on the bridge when it's done.
Thank you. And then just so I understand through the chair that doing it this way with the additional cost would still have been obviously less than doing two structures, as you were saying.
Rehabilitating these two structures rather than replacing two
Right,
structures
that's what I meant to say, excuse me.
by far cry. We're rehabilitating 2 for less than we would replace 1.
Thank you.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Opposed, motion carries. Next item, please.
Referral 13-68.
Moved by legislator Antelli, second by legislator Hannah. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Opposed, motion carries. Next item, please.
Referral 13-69.
Moved by legislator Hannah, second by legislator Howland. Legislator Haney.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This introductory is very similar to introductory 71. How are they related, or what's the connection between the two of them? They're both accepting a grant from the state for the tuberculosis program.
Through the year, through the chair, maybe the difference is really because of the years.
Oh, they're different years?
Yes.
Oh,
Through the chair, the first one is a supplement to
The
the current.
21,000 is the current year. The 200, okay, the 265 is the coming year. Okay, I did not see that. Thank you.
Legislator Baroth. Same question? Okay. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Opposed, motion carries. Next item, please.
Referral 13-70.
Moved by legislator Howland, seconded by legislator McCann. Is there any discussion? Here, legislator Kaley.
Chair, through you to the administration, could you give me the areas that are covered by the outreach for this program?
Through the chair, this program, is focused on, high risk, individuals that have been set based upon New York State, like maybe data.
Thank you. And then through the chair, would this be within the 5 or 6 zip codes that have been utilized before?
Through the chair, that is correct.
Thank you. And I will bring it up again. I'm hoping that there may be an expansion of that area to reflect some of the issues that we've been learning of with regards to other zip codes that have significant health issues as well. Thank you.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Opposed, motion carries. Next item, please.
Referral 13-71.
Moved by legislator McCann, seconded by legislator Tucciarello. Legislator Baroth.
Through the chair of the administration, I note that this is an acceptance of the $265,000, and the point 2, it states that we're going to appropriate a sum of $67,555. Is that $67,555 coming from the county or coming from the grant?
Through the chair, that is coming from the grant.
Coming from the grant, thank you. And then through the chair of the administration, am I correct to assume then that the remaining amount of money, slightly under $200,000, is in fact going to go to the coverage of partial salaries and all the other things listed in the paragraph above?
Through the chair, that is correct.
Thank you. And through the chair of the administration, then what is the $67,555 for?
Through the chair, that will actually maybe include covering some of the work for the outreach staff, including some of the services. The services that they provide include, outreach. It includes, directly observed therapy. It also maybe includes, staff time, for travel to individual sites, which include, whether that's the home, whether those are clinics, or whether those are homeless shelters. That also maybe includes, some of the other services that we do with regards to outreach.
Thank you. Through the chair to the administration, I understand that, but then it seems odd to me that you would specifically put $67,000 into one line, but not put the rest into other lines to provide those services you just described.
Mr. Chairman, I believe what the legislator is asking about is the appropriation of that $67,000 is to adjust what has already been appropriated in the grant budget to actually meet what the grant funds received actually are.
I think that'd be exactly correct. Through the chair, thank you.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Opposed, motion carries. Next item, please.
Referral 13-72.
Moved by legislator Tucciarello, second by legislator Antelli. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Opposed, motion carries. Next item, please.
Referral 13-73.
Moved by legislator Antelli, second by legislator Hanna. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Opposed, motion carries. Next item, please.
Referral 13-74.
Moved by legislator Hanna, second by legislator Howland. Legislator Baroth.
Thank you. Through the chair of the administration, what projects are already on the passenger facility charge program? Not the 6, I believe the number is now.
Through the chair, the projects that have to date,
Correct.
Is that the question?
Yes.
Passenger facility charge number 1, SRE storage building. So that would be snow removal equipment, storage buildings, snow removal equipment, taxiway Charlie rehabilitation and widening, terminal and April improvements. PFC 2, the new fire station, aircraft safety and security enhancements, and the training facility for firefighting. And on PFC 4, we have taxiway Echo reconstruction, and we have terminal improvements, which are the current ticket counter area and also the baggage program that was completed already, but we're finishing up PFC 4 with the ticket counter area. And that would be all PFCs 1 through 4.
Thank you. And then through the chair of the administration, if I could beg the favor, you could get that to me in writing, because I could not write that all down. I would appreciate that.
Through the chair, we can do that.
Thank you so much. And finally, I have one final question through the chair. What exactly, am I correct to assume that a person becomes eligible for this $4.50 charge by essentially purchasing a ticket and going on a flight? Is that correct?
Through the chair, that is correct.
Thank you.
Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Opposed, motion carries. Next item, please.
Referral 13-75.
Moved by legislator Howland, second by legislator McCann. Legislator Kaley.
Chair, through you to the administration, can you give me oh, I found it. Cancel that question.
Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Opposed, motion carries. Next item, please.
Referral 13-76.
Moved by legislator McCann, seconded by legislator Tucciarello. Legislator Haney.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Through the chair, is there any data available about how many people are being served and how many, or what this county's benefit from this program is, that days of incarceration avoided or anything like that? Do we have any data documenting what the program is doing?
Through the chair, Bob Burns from the Office of Probation. We know that in 2011, we had 6,300 individuals were screened, and a significant portion of those individuals were released on their own recognizance. Therefore, they were not taking up space at our Monroe County Jail, and another 1,230 were released under supervision. I don't have any data here, but all of this keeps our jail population below the 1,400 state mandate, and it's done so effectively for a number of years, putting our current county in a position where we do not have to expand our jail resources. The state may have some data that I can check into as far as actual jail days saved, but I don't have that here today.
Yeah. If you could, I think we'd find that illuminating. Thank you.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Opposed, motion carries. Next item, please.
Referral 13-77.
Moved by legislator Tucciarello, seconded by legislator Antelli. Legislator Andrews.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Through you to the administration, is this Girls Circle curriculum currently used?
Through the chair, yes, this would be about our 5th year of operating this program.
Thank you. And through the chair, I note that it says it's a research-based model, but is that the same as it being evidence-based?
Through the chair, absolutely. It's on the federal evidence-based list, and in fact, when we get the grant, we're pretty much required to follow this curriculum exactly.
Thank you. And then through the chair, do you know if it, since it's dealing with adolescent girls who are high risk, does it contain a comprehensive sex education component?
Through the chair, I know that there is one of the evenings. The discussion point is on sexuality. It's obviously aimed at trying to keep these young ladies safe, to prevent pregnancy, to prevent spread of disease. I'd have to look at the actual curriculum to see what the specifics are.
Through the chair, if you wouldn't mind, that would actually be helpful. This is usually a topic that comes up in human services, but I wouldn't, if you could just let me know if it does have that aspect to the curriculum, that'd be great. Thank you.
Any further discussion? Legislator Kaley.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Through you, I just want to understand, Catholic Family Center has been working with you for the past 5 years?
Through the chair, that's correct.
And thank you. And then through the chair, then the person, as it's saying, Catholic Family will hire a therapist to deliver the curriculum. Most likely, this therapist is already in place. This is not a new position we're talking about.
Through the chair, that's correct. The program and the opportunity was RFQ'd recently. Catholic Family Center won that award, and they will retain the same MSW to run the program.
Okay, thank you.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Opposed, motion carries. Next item, please.
Referral 13-78.
Moved by legislator Antelli, seconded by legislator Hannah. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Opposed, motion carries. Next item, please.
Referral 13-79.
Moved by legislator Hannah, seconded by legislator Howland. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Opposed, motion carries. Next item, please.
Referral 13-80.
Moved by legislator Howland, seconded by legislator McCann. Let me say, legislator Haney, that if we're going to have any discussion about this at all, we're going to need to go into executive session. Is it
I move we
important?
go into executive session.
And we are adjourned into executive session. Everyone not on this committee will have to leave the room. Carrie Andrews seconded.
Thank you.
back. Being no further discussion on this item, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Is there any unfinished business to come before this committee? Legislator Andrews?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I had sent you a letter last week, I believe, requesting that someone be present to give us an update in terms of the county's best prediction of what might happen if sequestration goes into effect this coming Friday.
Yes.
So I wondered if there was somebody who's available to do that.
Well, I received your letter, and I found it a little open-ended. You know that in unfinished business, you have to have a referral number or of an item that's current or one that's been tabled or referred to the administration. So frankly, I think the request or the questioning would be out of order at this time. I know the information is readily available from the White House on their view of what it is. So consequently, I went and copied that off, and I'm going to share that with you. I made it available to you for after the meeting, along with the telephone number for the White House switchboard in case you need it.
Well, Mr. Chairman, I appreciate that, and I don't want to belabor the point here, but I think that it's not technically speaking only things that are tabled. I mean, we do have on occasion questions about the key indicator report and other county financial documents that come up that this committee engages in during unfinished business. So,
okay, well,
and I'm not really interested in the White House's perspective on it. I'm more interested
certainly I don't either, but
in the county's perspective on its possible effects. Respectfully,
in the Daily Record, there's a quote from Congresswoman Slaughter's office that says the impacts of sequestration on Monroe County are unclear because of the flow of money and formula used between the federal, state, and local governments. So actually, any answers would be speculative at this point, and I don't feel as though they're necessary. So I'm going to find the questions out of order. There being no further business, the February 27th, 2013 meeting of the Ways and Means Committee stands adjourned. The next meeting of the Ways and Means Committee is scheduled for Wednesday, March 27th, 2013. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.